Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. Happy New Year. 2020 is in the history books and it's a new year. And on the first day of each month, we review the book of the month. In order to be considered the book of the month, a book has to meet a very simple criteria. It has to be impactful enough that it will change your life or your perspective on the world. Now, whether it does or not, of course, is entirely up to you. If you simply consume the book as entertainment, well, you're missing the point. But if you incorporate it into your life and make it part of you, you have a chance at some lasting change. Today's book definitely meets the criteria book of the month. On today's show, we're taking a deep look at a book called This is Marketing by Seth Godin. Seth Godin is the author of 19 books, many of them on marketing. He's a technology guy, much like myself. He started in the computer gaming industry, and he started marketing computer games. For the longest time, there's been confusion between the various words that surround the topic. What is selling? What's advertising? What is marketing? So many of the manipulations that we've accepted as normal, we now almost universally reject as ineffective. My good friend Carl Wilson says it well when he says, don't use a tactic that violates a principle. It doesn't make any sense to make a key and then run around looking for a lock to open. The only productive solution is to find a lock and then fashion a key to fit it. It's easier to make products and services for the customers you seek to serve than it is to find customers for your products and services. And so many people just get that completely backwards. For a long time, the most efficient way was for a commercial enterprise to make a large-scale change by simply buying advertising. Ads worked. They were a bargain. Ads paid for themselves. Besides, they were fun to make. Just look at any of the Super Bowl ads. You could buy a lot all at once. They made you or your brand a little bit famous. And they were reliable. Money spent on advertising usually equals sales. And is it any wonder that pretty quickly marketers decided that advertising is exactly what they did? And for much of my lifetime, marketing was advertising, and then it wasn't true anymore. Which means you'll need to become a marketer instead, and that means seeing what others see, building tension, aligning with tribes, creating ideas that spread. It means doing the hard work of becoming driven by the market and working with your market, rather than trying to drive the market yourself. Marketing is the generous act of helping someone solve a problem, their problem. It's a chance to change the culture for the better. It involves very little in the way of shouting, hustling, or coercion. It's a chance to serve. The shortcuts using money to buy attention, to sell average stuff to average people, is an artifact of another time, and it's not the time we live in any longer. You can learn to see human beings dream, decide, and act. If you help them become a better version of themselves, the ones they seek to be, then you're a marketer. Ideas that spread win. Marketers make change happen for the smallest viable market and by delivering anticipated, personal, relevant messages people actually want to get. Marketers don't use consumers to solve their company's problem. They use marketing to solve other people's problems. They have the empathy to know that those who seek to serve don't want what the marketer wants. Persistent, consistent, and frequent stories delivered to an aligned audience will earn attention. They'll earn trust and they'll earn action. Direct marketing is not the same as brand marketing, but they're both based on a decision to make the right thing for the right people. People like us do things like this. It's how each of us understands culture. And marketers engage with this idea every day. So many people think that marketing is about getting the word out, and that's one of the last steps in the process. It starts with creating the change that solves a problem. And when that change defines the culture, then you've got the ingredients of marketing. If you want to make a change, begin by making culture. Begin by organizing a tightly knit group. Begin by getting people in sync. And culture beats strategy. So much so that culture arguably is strategy. Marketers know that committed creative people can change the world. In fact, they're usually the only ones who do. You can do it right now, and you can do it by making more change than you possibly imagine. You can't change everyone, so that you've got to ask the question, who is this for? Helps you focus your actions and deal with the non-believers. Change is best made with intent. Human beings tell themselves stories, and those stories, as far as each of us is concerned, are completely and totally true. It's foolish to try and persuade anyone otherwise. We can group people into stereotyped groups that often tell themselves similar stories. Groups that make similar decisions based on perceived status. That's part of culture. So the book, This is Marketing by Seth Godin, creates a new definition of marketing by turning the industry on its head. You see, Seth has tried almost every method known to man. Few have worked and most have failed. In some cases, the product he was marketing succeeded despite the money wasted on advertising that nobody saw. Seth is not going to give you a step-by-step formula. Instead, it's a compass that keeps you grounded in the timeless principles that honor the relationship of trust between you and the people that you seek to serve. So he's been doing this for a long time, and his decades of wisdom are the result of decades of trial and error. As you think about that, go out, get a copy of This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. Have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.